Lauren first heard the voice one quiet afternoon as she sat in her small, sunlit apartment. "Move the glass," it whispered, barely audible. Startled, she looked around, but the room was empty. Her heart raced as she hesitated, staring at the glass of water on the table. She laughed nervously, brushing it off as stress. But when the voice repeated, "Move it," firmer this time, she reached out with trembling fingers and shifted the glass an inch. The voice fell silent. Over the next few days, it returned, always calm at first. "Straighten the picture," it would say. "Lock the door." Small, harmless commands. At first, Lauren obeyed, unnerved but convinced it was her subconscious manifesting after too much work and sleepless nights. But then the requests became darker. "Call Emily," it said one morning, referring to her estranged best friend. Lauren's stomach churned. "No," she whispered. They hadn't spoken in months. "Call her," the voice demanded, its tone icy. She resisted. The phone rang unanswered when she finally gave in. Silence followed, but something in the air shifted. The next time it spoke, it wasn't a suggestion, it was a command. "Break the vase." Lauren's pulse quickened. "No." She clenched her fists, fighting the rising tension in her head. "You don't have a choice," it snapped. Her hand moved on its own, shattering the vase against the wall. The crash echoed through the apartment, and she gasped, horrified at her loss of control. From that moment, the voice became relentless. It no longer whispered, it shouted, pushing her toward darker and darker actions. Lauren barely left her apartment, afraid of what she might do next. The walls seemed to close in, the air thick with its presence. One night, the voice demanded the unthinkable. "End it, Lauren, it's time." She froze, her reflection in the bathroom mirror a ghost of her former self. Pale, hollow-eyed, trembling. Tears streamed down her face as the voice continued to pressure her, growing louder, harsher. "Do it," it hissed. "You know you're ready." "No," she whimpered, gripping the sink as if it could anchor her. "I won't. You can't fight me. I am you," Lauren screamed, collapsing to the floor as the pressure in her head became unbearable. And then, as suddenly as it had started, the voice stopped. The silence was suffocating. She sobbed, relieved, thinking it was over. But then, there came a slow, deliberate knock at the door. Her breath caught in her throat. No one knew she was home. The knock came again, louder, more insistent. Shaking, she opened the door. The hallway was empty, but from the darkness, a familiar whisper echoed back. "I'm home."